Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to the show. I am Mariam Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Mariam Longe. How are you today?
Fine. I'm wearing my outfit again that Mariah gave me 2-3 years ago. I wear it at least once a year. But yesterday, just a shout out to Toksa Kerele and his lovely wife, Moyemi Kerele. It was his 50th birthday yesterday.
Oh, nice.
It was lovely.
Is it she party more than me this year?
Went on a nice boat ride, then went to the beach house. Very lovely birthday party. We had nice food, was good, you know,
nice.
Drinks, very lovely. And then we came home. So, see, throughout December, my husband, to be fair to him, had a lineup of activities for me, but one reason or the other, I couldn't do any. So to make it up to him, at least, I've done 2. And then I'm back to reality. Now I'm not doing again. Now I'm mommy and that's it. Oh, of course. On Monday, Lifestyle with ML community, we're starting again with our dieting and just working out like we've always done. So, and my accountability partner this year is
right here beside you.
Oh, nice. Fantastic. Good. So you should also have accountability partners?
Yes, so each other's accountability partners.
How you doing, Nima?
Fine, I'm beginning to love pizza.
Pizza?
So
How many years?
Pizza was something that you'd never find me eating. I just couldn't stand any foreign menus. I used to vomit eating salad with cream. So eat salad without cream is fine. But now my kids, they'll make you buy it. Big boxes, and then the man will say the pepperoni won't take 2 slices, 4 slices, and it's fine. But say I won't take the remaining one. Take it for no loss. So now, I find that I can actually hold my head up without vomiting when I eat them. So maybe small will be eating all these able things, yes.
I'm always looking for
You know, that's one thing I don't really like, pizza.
I don't like I don't like a lot of pizza here because it's not very cheesy. They don't put extra cheese. They put more of meat. Nigerian pizza has more meat than cheese.
So I bought 2. I bought the pepperoni one and I bought chicken and barbecue chicken and a lot of cheese. I wanted the
extra cheese.
And I was just saying it like bread.
Yeah, they never. That's why when I did my own, I had to put lots of mozzarella. They don't put plenty mozzarella.
It's popular brand though that we.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one that doesn't put. In fact, I'm looking for. Somebody was telling me about one in Ikoyi that actually has proper. Put enough mozzarella that stretches.
During my shoots, they were buying.
We need to get proper cheese.
You know, I made jollof rice for Fran yesterday.
Of course, it was her
birthday.
There you go. You know, I always tell them
post the pictures.
It's important to do things within family. She wanted to have a party. I said, party with your brother, me and your dad, and my sister-in-law was around, so we did a lot of.
Fantastic. How are you doing, Obiajulu?
Yes, I think you have kissed me energetically.
I'm so sorry.
Down with a cold.
I don't remember kissing you, Shao.
Energetically. You know, you always.
Our soul.
But I'm struggling with. I couldn't sleep 2 nights now, but I think this weekend I'll just try as much as possible to rest. Why are you peeping?
Like your sneakers, Nee. I'm just.
So today is my mother's birthday.
Yay!
I'm going to be, I think, 64 this year. Happy birthday, mommy. God bless you. I don't know how I can see her, but I think I'll just give her a call afterwards and see what I can.
She and Waike. Oh my goodness, hey, baby. Waike can be your mama.
Yes, no.
Imagine that. Cool.
We carry Waike.
Yes, our mommy on the table.
No. Your mommy, my sister.
Oh, please. How many years?
I'm not.
You know, you're old now. You
don't mind her. She and Waike don't
say one spot.
Tom and Jerry, both of you.
Let's go on a quick break. It's Friday. When we come back, look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
We're going to start with the nation as usual. 37 billion naira probe. Ex-minister gets EFCC's 72-hour ultimatum. Customs to meet 5.1 trillion naira revenue target. Uphold my mandate, Plateau governor urges Supreme Court. CBN acts dangles on COVID-19 loan defaulters. Federal government extends Yuletide fare rebate till Sunday. NUC lists 58 varsities awarding illegal degrees. And FMC plans price crash for IVF births. Okay.
Yes, the
story?
major headline.
Major headline.
Yes, as you know, we've been following the story of the alleged money laundering that was perpetrated through the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster and Management and Social Development under the former minister, Sadia Umar Farouk. Remember, she had been asked to go to the EFCC for interrogation, and we heard that she didn't go there. But then we're hearing from spokesperson of the EFCC, Dele Oyewale. He said that he got a letter from her. It was brought to them by her counsel. He was there physically explaining that she's been unwell and has asked for an extension of, the deadline, a 3-week extension of the deadline. But EFCC is saying that they are unable to do that for her, that the way EFCC has been structured now is that you can come for your quick interrogation and you can go back home on the same day, and if she needs any medical help, they have first-class facilities to provide for her. But this is something that has to be done immediately. They said she didn't shun EFCC invitation. It was because of her illness. And then he also said that there's this amount of 37.1 billion that's been bandied around. He said he cannot say for certain that this is the correct amount of information that is out there because they're still investigating, still tracking funds. It may even be more than that. Yeah. So EFCC is not categorically saying that that is the amount. So it looks like it's something that people have come up with. And so we'll see if she'll be able to, meet this deadline by today and go to see EFCC.
Okay, so I have good news from the FMC in Ebute Meta. The Chief Medical Director of the FMC has announced while he was commissioning a new ward, he said the clinical building at the hospital, he said that they are looking to crash the price of the procedure for IVF in their hospital. I have been to that hospital. I have seen a lot of amendments. My father-in-law passed at the hospital, and I was more than impressed. It's been a very old medical center, and these developments that are happening are really commendable. IVF, of course, gives solutions to a lot of waiting parents, but the affordability of it is always an issue. So they are looking at doing that at the hospital and crashing the price and making it more affordable for people to be able to do that. So I'm hoping they announce when it kicks off, when the crash price kicks off soon.
Okay, so as a result of the suspension of degree certificates from the 2 Francophone countries, West African countries, after we know that an undercover journalist detailed how he acquired a university degree within 2 months and also was enlisted for the National Youth Service Corps, the National Universities Commission has listed 58 illegal universities operating in Nigeria. They said even those universities claiming to be affiliates of foreign universities in the country, a lot of them are culpable. And they also had 9 degree mills, which are currently undergoing further investigations and court action as well. So the list here is a lot of the universities, the 58 of them. I'll just take a few. University of Accountancy and Management Studies, operating anywhere in Nigeria. Christian Charity American University of Science and Technology, or Anambra State. Or any of, I'm telling you, any of his other campuses, University of Industry, Yaba, Lagos, and any of his other campuses, University of Applied Sciences and Management, Port Novo, Republic of Benin, and any campuses in Nigeria, Blacksmith University, Oka, a lot of them across all the states. I don't even think any state was exonerated here, and they said there were other universities, I think 9 of them, that they just closed and they are investigating those ones. So they're trying as much as possible to recover illegal fees that they have collected from the students and the subscribers of the university. So I would like that people go to the Nation newspaper and read so that you know the universities, and I don't know if you fall into any of them by mistake. Yeah.
So the president has approved the extension of the Leadertide free train service till January 7th. The extension would enable more Nigerians to return home from their travels.
It's that is next tomorrow, Sunday.
Sorry?
Ending?
January 7th is next tomorrow, Sunday.
Sunday, oh.
That's Sunday. So
no, don't go and say, they say January 7th. I didn't hear, I thought 27. 7 tomorrow,
Sunday,
tomorrow, Sunday.
The federal government had initially announced train service on all service routes, free train service, and 50% rebate on road transportation from December 21st till yesterday. But now they've actually extended it to Otunla, which is on Sunday.
GB.
Sunday here.
January
The day
7th.
after tomorrow. GB
Yeah.
a house and check.
GB, All right, let's move on to the next paper, the Punch. EFCC combs Dangote headquarters for documents, probes, 51 firms. It's not too early for EFCC to do all this work this January. 8 degrees, 10,900 Nigerians in Benin. And Togo varsities lament. Banks borrow over 19 trillion naira from CBN's research report. Customs generate 3 trillion and I 5 trillion in 2024. Traders protest as Lagos government to approve market. Plateau attack survivors battle hunger in IDP camp. Foreign investment in manufacturing sector drops by 54%, says NBS. Okay, which story?
Distressed Plateau attack survivors battle hunger in IDP camps. So not only have they gone through the worst experience any person can go through, you know, on Christmas Eve, they are still suffering, you know, from that, which is the victims and the survivors of that attack are in camps. They say they're mostly in classrooms. That's children and parents. That's for those who have survived, because there are orphans there. There's some who've lost just a mother or a father, and they are all in these classrooms sleeping on the floor. They say they cook just once a day and sometimes not at all. There's this person, Pwajok Jane. She had gone to the communities in Bokos, Mangu local government areas where these attacks happened, and this is what she saw. There's some people who are in hospital, but just really sad the condition these survivors are in. She says, in fact, when they went there, they met mostly the children because the parents had gone out to find food. So yes, the individual donations coming in, but not enough to, to really take care of people, the survivors in that in the camp. So I think this is a call out to all Nigerians. Government, of course. I know the governor's central, North Central had come together and they had given 100 million to the victims. But, we can do better. The state government can do better also to just make sure that these people are given some form of dignity. To be in classrooms without food is not right,
Okay, let's go on a short break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're still reviewing Punch. Story? Go ahead.
So, operators of the EFCC, yes, they are according to Punch. They stormed the headquarters of the Dangote Industries Limited in Ikoyi in furtherance of their ongoing investigation into the alleged abuse of forex allocation by the immediate past governor of the CBN to the Dangote Group. And along with him were 51 other companies that have been asked to show their Form M and Form A, am I correct? To come forward with funds, providing documents that supported their own allocation and utilization of forex sold to them during the last 10 years. Their Form A and Form M, of course, should be brought forward. Some companies have followed complied with that directives, but most of them have not. And so the EFCC they said they were there between 3 p.m. and several hours after, and they left with boxes of documents that, the investigation right now is...
Like they should let our refinery start working first.
I have said this, please.
They built refinery for you.
No, but
don't say that.
Please, we need refinery to
work. Please, let our refinery work.
It's not our refinery.
Let the refinery start working.
Before you start arresting the head, I beg.
They have received 5 supplies
because they have arrested him.
Because they're investigating.
No,
what if it's
that refinery has started working. Are you saying that's how our security agents should sleep?
Because you want the refinery.
No. Are we moving on?
There has been abuse of allocation of dollars, because what they are saying is that this has led to the struggling, and that during the time of the former CBN governor, there were different exchange rates, unofficial and official, different activities that led to the struggling of the naira, the inflationary pressure on the naira.
We all agree.
So you agree that
what we are saying.
also they have found 500 and something, 543 million pounds sitting somewhere in fixed deposits in banks without authorization on behalf of this person. He said, I beg, come, don't stop. Don't come, dig, everything.
Yes, investigation must go on, but please, as it's going on, let the refineries be working.
It's a private business.
Send the refineries.
Can we move on?
It's not the one that move on.
It's not our hot topic.
It's not our business.
It's not our hot topic. It's not our hot topic.
It's not worry.
You have a story in Punch.
Yes, I have a story in Punch.
It's not our hot
So
topic.
members, what is wrong with talking this morning? Members of the Orilowo Perishable Food Market Association yesterday, that's the picture story in the Punch, protested at the Lagos State House of Assembly over the delay approving the location of their market. So they said they were holding placards bearing various inscriptions, and they are demanding immediate approval for the Orilowo Perishable Food Market to be located at plot 705 Adekunle Bus Stop, Ikorodu Road, K2 Local Council Development Area. They said that that's the person who led the protest, Mr. Alex, said the market should have been approved within a recognized market line, but they didn't see that happen. And that in May 16, 2022, they had written a letter seeking approval of a designated site. Unfortunately, officials of the LCDA deliberately refused to grant the approval as requested by the association, and that has hampered their businesses. They're not able to move forward. So they were protesting because they wanted an intervention of the Lagos State House of Assembly to see how they can give them that place so that their markets will continue.
So the Customs Service, the Controller General, Mr. Dewale Adeni, has said that they are compiling the figures for 2023, and it's looking like they have generated a little over 3 trillion naira. He also stated that their revenue projection for 2024 will be 5.1 trillion, stressing that the customs will strive to deliver on its mandate. As to officers are to be put on alert regards the target. He also said that they were actually, this was said during the ceremony of newly promoted officers of the NCS by the Comptroller General himself. He says last time they are believing that all the various factors were put in place to ensure that they get the 5.1 trillion, which is their projection for this year. And by next week, I believe he's going to tell us the details of the 3.2 trillion naira they made last year. Okay, moving on now to Daily Sun. FG may extend clampdown to Kenyan, Ugandan varsities. Forex EFCC raids Dangote, Bua, others, says exercise continues. Plateau killings, Gombe governor advises against reprisals. Bayelsa governor sues for peace as Fubara visits. Why Supreme Court should validate my election, says Muftang. Police photographer died in Sokoto Deputy Governor's Convoy road crash. Maritime workers threatened to ground port January 9th. Okay, which story?
Okay, so the major headlines still on the universities, and the federal government announced plans to widen the net for operators of illegal universities in Nigeria and beyond. They said that's according to the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, and he said that they are trying to do a cleanup of all the universities, whether within the country and outside the country, like they are suspending Benin and Togo right now, and they are not even apologetic for any students who chose to patronize these universities. That all of them, there's no sympathy for them, and all of them seem to be doing the same thing. So they are part of the criminal chain that is happening, and so they should be arrested. But Jaffa, who's the publisher of Daily Nigerian in X or Twitter, he said that he doubted the ability of the Federal Ministry of Education and Department of Security Services, DSS, to carry out proper investigation in the matter. That the problem is that the DG of the DSS, Magaji Bichi, has employed over 100 Cotonou and Togo graduates from according to him, his hometown, saying that they had to lower their recruitment processes, set aside their multi-level strictness to just get these people into the system. And so he's not expecting that they will not use someone who has a Tokumbo certificate to go prosecute people who are... So that's the fake certificates now. To go and prosecute the academic fraud. He also said that they have also employed them across MDAs and even the CBN, the FIRS, all of these commissions have these people who have been employed with their fake certificates. And so he's not sure that the government will be able to probe these people. But they are saying that they should not sack them outrightly, or dismiss them if they find that they have these fake certificates, but they should give them a leave so that they can go 4 years back into a proper university to get their certificates. That is what he has
so I have
advised.
The list of a photographer that died in the deputy governor's convoy in Sokoto. According to Son, I don't know why they didn't take it in detail. 2 people, including a police officer, attached to the convoy of the state's deputy governor, Idris Mohammed Gobir, lost their lives in an accident. And they said the governor, as well as his deputy, had gone to Birni, and they were returning to Sokoto, the state capital, when this accident happened. A police spokesperson for Sokoto, ASP Ahmed Rufai, confirmed it and said the police officer involved in the pilot vehicle on the deputy governor's convoy and the photographer who was also in that vehicle at the time died. The account now didn't give account for the 3rd person who died and how he died, whether it was a car that hit them or how the crash really happened. It's just very sad. My heart is with the families.
Okay, moving on to Daily Sun. FG may extend clampdown to Kenya. Oh, sorry. Vanguard. Opera over imposters exposed in army recruitment exercise. Kano demolitions. Victims lament loss of 30 persons, 260 billion naira properties. Mobilization. How undercover reporter breached our system to enroll twice. EFCC. Ex-Minister Farouk cited illness for shunning our invitation. South African Rupert displaces Dangote as Africa's richest man. And Plato. Appeal court unfair to me. Governor Mufwang tells Supreme Court. Okay, which story? I was going to take the... which story do you have?
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I'll take the Kano story. So we have traders and owners of demolished shops at the Masalaching ED in Kofa Mata area of Kano State yesterday. They're demanding a criminal investigation into the demolition of their shops and properties worth billions of naira, over 26 billion naira, over 260 billion naira, they say. If we remember, shortly after the current governor of Kano State was elected, he had gone on a demolition exercise, and the people are lamenting what he did. They said that it was without proper due process. So they said that for that reason, many people lost their lives. They said 30 persons lost their lives due to the loss of properties worth 260 billion naira. And they're also asking that the secretary to the state government, also Dr. Abdullah Ibichi, and one engineer, Mohammed Digo, be also investigated. So what the victims are saying is that before the elections, the party, NNPP, the head of the NNPP, that's Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, had been heard on TV, categorically saying that once they get into power, they were going to demolish these shops. And they're saying that usually everybody knows that government would give you warning, would give you a time period, would give you a deadline. None of that happened. Whoa. The demolition started immediately after they had closed their shops at night. They said around 1. And they said hoodlums were also encouraged, not only after the demolition, to go in and pack their things and steal their things away, loot them, They had no time to take their things away. And so they're saying, because of all this, they would like for investigations to be done. The spokesperson for the government is saying, what criminality are they talking about? They've gone to court, settlements have been arranged, But the people say, no, there's no remorse. Even the governor says he does not regret what he did. And they're asking for proper investigation to different people that that were part of this. And it would be nice to see, how this is carried out. Really, if there was no proper due process followed, then this is criminality.
Yeah. So the Director of Public Affairs, NYSC, Mr. Eddie Megwa, was speaking on the TV station yesterday. He was talking about how the undercover reporter was able to access the NYSC database to get approval for service. He said that he changed his email address and phone number to be able to apply, because initially when he did with his own original email, it was rejected, obviously because it was already in the system. But they now ask about the NIN. I thought NIN was supposed to be used. They now, the public affairs director said that they've incorporated NIN about 3 years ago, but he cannot explain how it happened that it was not flagged when he applied with this new email address and phone number. However, he said that they've tried to curb this kind of illegal entry into NYSC. They're doing tests for those who come to apply, and they realized that even many of them can't even write essays. You'd be surprised that a full graduate is not able to write a basic essay. So those are the techniques they put in place to curb these things, but they're obviously going to investigate how it happened that NIN couldn't flag the this applicant. Okay, our final paper, I'm not sure we have time for that. Tribune. EFCC storms Dangote headquarters, we talked about already. Amotekun holds candlelight walk for Akeredolu. 2 arrested for allegedly slitting throat of neighbor in Kwara. ASP on run as police arrest dismissed inspector for alleged robbery in Lagos. Appeal court judgment on fair to be played to governor tells Supreme Court. And AHI withdraws suit against 25 Rivers Assembly members. Okay, which story?
The arrest of 8 suspects for the Plateau attack. Is it there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, so they say 8 people have been arrested, allegedly in connection with the attacks that happened in Plateau State, and they're being interrogated. But also I took this story really because NEMA, that's the emergency agency, said that they have provided relief materials. So there's food, mattresses. This is in response to the first story I read. So government on its part is doing as much as they can do. So of course, sometimes this is never enough. So individuals too who can help, please, assist in this case. So they said that there's mattresses, nylon mats, plastic buckets and cups, and they're also building toilets at the campsite so that,
So I have
hygienic for them.
of the actor, veteran actor, Yoruba actor, Olofaino, who died at 73. According to Said Balogun, who posted this picture, he said, good night to the legend Chief Deji Akinremi, which is his real name. His stage name is Olofaino, and his theatre group is the Olofaino Theatre Group that he formed in 1972. If you know Yoruba film in those days, all the Abidjan and all of that, we who watched it know that we would miss this man. He was a very excellent actor.
Okay, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to our hot topic of today. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So in the last couple of days, story has been online. Quite interesting conversations going on between celebrities, especially concerning the fact that people are accusing others of their sexual orientations not being disclosed to the public. Their true sexual orientation not being disclosed to the public. And it's becoming a conversation worth having because many families are finding out that their partners are not who they said they are. We've discussed it on this table before where we've had people who've come to us privately and told us, listen, I found out that my husband likes men, We've had few children, and we have an agreement where he sleeps in the living room, I stay in the bedroom, and we have to just keep the family together just to save face somewhat. But what are your thoughts on this? Because I think Tiana started the conversation concerning this, and I think that's moved to Nkechi lesson. But I'd like Nima to establish the story so that we can have a good, robust conversation about it. Go ahead, Nima.
So both Tiana and Nkechi just insinuating the same thing on their post. They said, sorry, Blessing, CEO, not Nkechi. Tiana said, can we talk about how gay men have normalized being married with kids and sleeping with men around Lagos? Like, seriously, I can't get over what I just saw. I see this man with his wife forming love on social media, and the man is sleeping with my guy. And some of your faves are on this table. Or why are you all deceiving those innocent women? This 2024, they'll say no grief for anybody. I beg this year, make I talk everything where I did see, or make I agree. And then she went on and said, gave details that is becoming crazy. See, if you are gay, come out and stop deceiving people into marriage so you have kids with them. Then disgrace them. But women, how can you not know that your man moves this way? I believe some of these women even know and are in denial. There's no way, there's no traits. Imagine you see a married man swinging hands and hips when he walks and acts girly. Yet you make excuses for him. Some of these men are even straight and manly. Maybe they paid you to have the kids as cover-up because that's the only excuse I can see. You don't have to get married now. You can get a surrogate and get your kids. Honestly, it's a shameful act and unfair to the women. Ladies, once your man wants to check him and run, 2024, no grief for anybody. Meanwhile, I have nothing against being gay. I simply said, don't deceive women into marrying you and having kids. Then she's not against gay.
It's the deceit.
Yeah.
We are against gay. For me.
Yeah. I mean, I think is that the deception that is a conversation, and I said we've discussed it here before, because I know somebody personally that this has happened to, and I know her very well. And even till today, she's just living her life the best she can, knowing that her spouse is gay, and he's also accepted. At least so they have an agreement, and they're still together till today. And it's quite painful of her reality because she's not really living her best life. I mean, she's just, in the shadow of herself. She's trying really hard, but it's never easy when you can't just be free to open and just be who you are. So that's the conversation today. I mean, we don't know who the person is. We're not even interested in who this person is because we don't care about the person. It's about that deception. We need to discuss that. Let me come to you.
So I know that in life, right, nobody keeps it 100%. But then when you're getting into a relationship with somebody who you claim to love, even if you don't keep it 100%, give us at least 85 to 90, right? Because this is somebody who you want to go the long haul with, somebody who you want to go on a journey with. And I understand a bit how it's not easy to come out if you're working like against the norm. So we have the normal, which is man, woman. But now you are tilted towards the abnormal. And you're living in a society that really doesn't understand and accept it as it is. So I can understand why you want to hide who you are, because you don't want judgment from people around you. You don't want judgment from society. You don't even want, if you say, okay, let's come out and just say it as it is, most of them will not be married. I do not think there are women who willingly, there may be a few, but majority of the women will not willingly want to spend their life with somebody that they're going to be pretending. Because a woman wants to build her home, it wants to be in charge, be in control, and lead, in that circle. But now, when you have a relationship where you're now telling the woman that, this is how I feel about you, I'm not really, but we can just do this for the children and keep that facade, not every woman would want to be in that space. So it's also a way to self-preserve. They're trying to preserve themselves as well because they're in a society. Imagine if these people go where they can be free. They won't need to hide. So we also need to ask ourselves, because I remember there was a time we raised this conversation and some of us were like, are you sure this is happening? It's not possible in this place. And I kept saying that this is happening and they are hiding because we're not ready to have this conversation. So the thing is, are you ready for it to be kept 100%? We need to ask ourselves, are we ready that your church member comes out to say, okay, this is how I am now. Can you put up with him? Are you ready to have that conversation? We know how we get when we know somebody is like this, even in the workspace, and how we just try to mind our business and, you know, are we ready to have that conversation?
Okay.
So when we have the conversation on sexual orientation in Nigeria, this is what I see Nigerians do. We put our hands over our ears and go, la, 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 la. We want to pretend it does not exist. And then when the consequences of not addressing a situation honestly and head on starts to happen, we are still like this, you know. So there was a time we had this conversation, Mariam, I think it was last year, and we had a woman call in. Already we were getting backlash on social media. Look at these women. People are trying to poison the minds of Nigerians. People are digging up stories that don't exist in Nigeria. And someone called in crying because she was in the same situation we're talking about, married her husband, and has found out years down the line that he is gay. And now she's thinking, what do I do next? Do I end my marriage? And some family members are saying, Auntie, you stay there, you know. So what we are saying is that it's unfair for someone to find themselves in a situation where the man has deceived her into marrying him, and that is not who he really is. You have raised your child, you have raised your daughter. She's finally getting married, but she does not know the real person because we have refused to have that conversation. Yeah. There are gay people in Nigeria.
Yes, so
they exist. Let them say it, so that those who do not want to be affiliated with people like that in marriage situation, any form of union, know for certain, so they do not go there. Yeah. I understand where we're coming from. It's not our culture. It's not our religion. It's something that we frown upon. Yes, that is one side of the conversation. But the other side of the conversation is that we need to know who they are, so that people would not be suffering for what they did not, you know, reaping what they did not sow. It's not fair. It's not right. Then you have children in this whole mix. What you know, where do you start from? I just would like for everybody to just sit down and just sitting down looking at your husband today, and then you find out that he's like that. How would you feel? Wouldn't you have preferred that this person had told you from the very beginning? Yeah. Now, to those who are keeping it away from you, there's a reason they're keeping it away. Because every time they bring it up, we will tongue lash them, we lock them up, you know, different sorts of things. So they're afraid to come out.
Yeah. I was going to focus on that, Mariam, for a second. Let me come to that, because we always focus a bit on the women finding out. Forget that those men, or maybe the men who are homosexual, they also are going through a serious mental torture for their own practice of what they do, because they have family obligations. Their parents expect them to get married, to be like all the other parents. There's a friend of mine, please not watch TV with me. For whatever reason, he's not married. I keep saying, bro, this girlfriend, are you sure he's not? Because, I mean, the only person. I'm wondering, what is going on? Because essentially, we must normalize the conversation. Not normalize, but we must be open.
The conversation.
We must open to the conversation. Because the truth is that this, but the way anyone is looking at me, you are slashing you are looking at me, I don't like the way you're looking at me. But the truth is that, as Mariam rightly said, they exist, and they also have families who they feel that my mother wants to see me marry. Yeah. My parents want to see me have a grandchild. I will do anything to make my parents happy. Let me just get this girl, have a child, and move on. So that my parents are even happy that I've done. So they also are being tortured internally for their family obligations.
So maybe because as Nadi talk now, my head was just being, it was like I was swimming or inside water or something. Because the reality of what Mariam is saying is scary. The place you are going is the fear of every parent whose generation was not exposed to this. Yeah. How do you sit down? Somebody just come and tell you, I'm not straight.
5 years down the line.
It's me who born you. You were straight when I born you. Straighter than as it can be.
A ruler.
I don't know how you come and I don't get it. I cannot process it. As a parent, now we have a legislation that criminalizes it, but it has not even, I don't know whether it opens up the area of coming out and allows maybe some form of leniency at that point, so that they don't hide. They can then say, I'm not straight, but can you do marriage with me? Because I think that opening up itself is still criminal. I'm going to have to, as I'm leaving I'll call
that's where the open marriage
that
comes in
now.
where okay, you can have be who you are. We say I have a contract with you. Both of us, let's do this, have these children.
Is it before marriage, or she finds out 10 years down the line,
exactly.
5 years down the line?
So the conversation we're having now is that it should be before.
We must now criminalize
deception.
Yes.
Because that is the damage. If you come out at the beginning and open up, it's called disclosure. In every rule, disclosure is always...
You don't have to open up to the world.
You don't have to open up to the world, and your partner can be, legislated to be compelled to confidence. But the deceit should be criminal. It should be grievously criminal. They should put very deterring consequence for the deceit. Because women, I was shocked. All these things, we used to hear it and read it. Well, when a girl was gisting myself and a friend that I married, and within 6 months, she moved out of the house. We're now saying, you do that kind of big party to go and divorce. You don't even get patience. There's something in marriage. All of us, we are copying. And the girl was just looking at us like this and said, there was a boy always following my husband. He was supposed to be like his PA. But when they got married, he moved in, and he was like, your office did not reach the home now. He said, no, if you don't want to see this boy around me, you have already started. You are an impatient man. It's just, it was like the list we were reading yesterday. He was calling her unforgiving. He gave her all the reels.
I was there in that gist.
Oh, you were there?
Yes, we were there together.
Until they go and cash it like this, until she cashed it. And when she told her parents, they encouraged her. In fact, they moved her things and moved her out. And the deceit, she found on time. Imagine that you are born children. How do you do that? How do you cope?
So, yeah, it's also the assumption that every woman would reject them. There are young girls I know that don't mind. The world is really evolving faster than during our time. And there are some young people that I've had conversations with. They don't mind. As long as I'm happy, we have an agreement, you do what you need to do.
Relationship.
Yes. And even in different, male and female relationship, we have a lot of open relationship in places, especially in the cities, where you come to an agreement that we're together, we parents, we cohabit, but I do my own thing, you do your own thing. Just don't bring it to my face. And I don't want to know what you do. And they are raising children. But I am more worried about the effects on the young people that they raise at the end of the day. You know why? Because I know if you come out and it's okay, the society is now allowing 2 male or 2 female being together, now they cannot bear children. But they still want to have children. You understand that what you are doing will not give you children. Okay. But you still want children because you want to please your own self.
Let me go on a break. Okay. Let me redirect this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so we're talking initially about deception in marriage, especially these days, in those modern times. Many people come together because of various pressures. Your family wants you to get married, all your friends and colleagues are getting married, and you know that traditionally you can't marry the way based on your own orientation, and then you just meet a girl, do what you have to do, and then is the deception of it that then 10 years, 5 years down the line, she finds out that you're not really into it, or that you have somebody else, you're sexually attracted to another man. That's the issue we are focusing on. And how do we help these situations? That's why we're preferring that disclosure. Yes. Before people are modern enough now, especially the modern marriages. Yeah. Maybe during our own time, we would have called it abomination. But modern marriages, if you have a conversation with a young 21, 22-year-old, like, listen, this is who I am. Can we do together and have a family and raise kids? They might be more receptive to understand where you're coming from. But how do we find a way to ensure that people don't deceive each other, especially in a society that doesn't accept their practice.
Especially women who have not forgiven deception that you have another woman somewhere. How do you now process that is a man?
Hey, Jesus.
Let me just be on this table.
What you have just said now, I can imagine a man saying, "You're even lucky it's not a man. Hey, your mates outside are dealing with beating." Do you understand? But, you know, it's such a serious issue. I remember a particular story where a lady said she caught her husband viewing some sites, you know, the pornographic sites, and realized that he was looking at sites that was about homosexuality and gay. And, she, you know, and then other times she's seen conversations where he seemed to be having with a friend that she knows, you know, a male friend. And when she looked into the phone, the conversation was too intimate to be between two men. And for a long time, she sat with the thought, what do I do now? Because when she confronted him, he denied it. What, are you crazy? How dare you accuse me that way? What is it about me that I've shown you for you to think that way? It took many years after those incidents for her to catch him red-handed. And for me, it's just the unfairness of it. It's not right. Do you know, anytime I think about it, I feel so agitated. It's unfair to put someone through that. If you have any love, any compassion for somebody, please don't do that. The person doesn't need to find out 10 years, 5 years down the line. There's something that is just inherently...
But do you think women want to hear the truth?
Yes.
People don't. Some women don't. No. Some women don't want to hear. They want just get married. I don't care. Just marry me. Yeah. So you're gay, you're not gay. Just marry me. There are women like that.
No, I disagree. There's some people. There's a line. There's some. Yes, you're right. Sometimes women get to an age where just get married to me. But many people also have one line that they would not cross. Let them know what line it is. Some people will tell you, no matter what, no matter how rich and handsome he is, if he's violent, I don't want.
Okay,
do you understand?
I know that human beings naturally deceive people, right? We've had stories of a woman being married to a man, and for many years, she never knew that the man had another woman outside who is birthing. So if a man to a woman relationship, this can happen, why is it so difficult? Or why are we expecting disclosure from a man to man? They are human beings as well. So if I can deceive you in a man-to-woman relationship, I have the capacity to deceive you in a man-to-man. It's not about the sexes, it's about the human nature. We can be deceptive. You know. Not everybody is deceptive.
Let me pause you for a quick second. Okay. Israel's holding. Israel for Mado Ekiti. Hello, Israel. Hello. Go ahead.
Yeah, so why we see this one as grievous is because our society hasn't accepted it. That's why it's seeming so grievous, right? If we're in a society that has accepted it, it's almost the same with heterosexual relationships. You can hide somebody, bring children tomorrow, we talked about DNA, you know, a lot of fathers now finding out that they have been in deceptive marriages where the children they have been raising for years are not theirs. It's all that part of deceit, right? But it's just, we're just speaking more on this because it's just something that's opening. We're now beginning to see the reality of this in our society, which is new to us. And we're now saying, okay, please disclose. So for me, it's not just disclose when you are the other way. Even when you are the normal way, disclose. Do not marry somebody with an intention of hiding those aspects of life from that person. Whether you have a wife and you have another wife outside that is birthing for you, disclose it. Have that conversation. Whether you want to be polygamous at the end of the day, from arranging to be monogamous, and then a few years down the line, Pepe, don't rest your hand, you want to add more, disclose it. Everything you have to do in a relationship, disclose it, so that people can now make informed choices and not regret a few years back that you lied to me. So disclose it and prosecute, like Ima is saying.
I want to more that time that women can't accept. Women have never accepted deceit in marriages. You know, I remember when we were, you know, being that age of finding suitors. If you have an ancestral problem, I'd like to know. If you're an ex-cultist, I would like to know. I always used to say then to my, I don't want to carry cross I did not carry you, as I was not party to. Please don't, if you have any baggage, disclose. You know, women would really like, because we are not so advantaged in marriages. The table is not, as in, we are not at equal level. You know, there's ways a man who is finding out certain things in marriage can move on. In my tradition, my grandfather would say, just remarry. I know my uncles in their 50s who have kids that, you know, they're just starting their life again. They had been married, but they are starting again. But it's not always the same power for women.
Yeah.
We have a menopause, we have a clock, we have all of that. So please.
Let me take Ibrahim from Abuja. Thanks for calling, Ibrahim. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Mariam.
Morning.
Yeah, your fellow interviewer, Lady on Blue, I don't know her name very well, but I think we should always go against what is wrong in the society. I don't think mere talking about this, we are more like promoting what is bad. If we are talking, if the way we paint it, the way we are discussing it, we are more or less like we are promoting what is bad. There are certain things that are morally wrong and societal bad. We're not supposed to have been discussing things of this on air. We have to.
On earth.
On air.
Oh, I thought you said on earth.
So that's the perfect perspective.
That's what I'm saying.
Another actor's wife also posted, sort of insinuating, you know, something like this, and said, is marrying someone who has been married twice already not a red flag? Like, both exes are alive, not one time or twice. You know, you can't tell me nothing. That person must be a narcissist trying to go towards this disclosure issue. So what was trending yesterday was all of them trying to disclose, I suppose, something that's or an individual that they know of. And I'm wondering, what are the signs that we'll now be looking for?
You won't know.
Because Yana say if he swing waist, if he swing hand. This one say if he's been divorced twice and 2 exes are alive. I met someone yesterday and he was saying, this is my 3rd marriage. I should assume?
So I was going to say about the deceit, where Nima rightly said that women do not handle deceit well. So,
Excuse me.
You know, when we say men have constantly deceived women, or you have a wife outside, or there's a woman giving birth to children outside, we still see how they respond to it. But for the woman that knows up front, it's different. So that's why the deception is the real matter here. If you are going to, no matter what your human nature is, if you have a secret, please, up front is the best way to handle it, and then let the person make the choice. There are so many family dynamics that sometimes when we sit on it and hear it, we're shocked that there's a human being that is willing to be part of it. But they are, and the reason why they are in that situation is because they knew about it and they made the decision to be in that situation.
So
but many people in this particular case are unaware. But you were going somewhere to which Tiana went as far. She's saying that there should be some indications, some signals to women when you're finally picking a man to marry and who may be that way inclined. So what are the things? She mentioned that the person may be effeminate, the way they do their fingers and swing their hips. That should be something that makes you question. So if, but I know that there are some people that are effeminate and not necessarily that way. But that should be a time for conversation. Uncle, you know this is a problem that is happening everywhere. Is this who you are? This is a safe place. Let me know. Because it will not be acceptable that when I get into marriage, then I find myself in a situation that I did not ask for.
Let's talk about Ibrahim's perspective.
Okay.
Says it's morally wrong, and we shouldn't be discussing this on national TV. And it's something that we need to address, because the truth is that, as Nima rightly said, it's against our law. It's like you're talking about fraud, something that's illegal. You know, these are conversations we have. So when something is illegal, doesn't mean we can't talk about it. Now, she says morally wrong. Many people would argue that, okay, yes, whose compass are we using to judge how morally wrong this is? Yes, we are in Nigeria and we understand and respect our shores, no doubt about that. But it's part of the quietness that we're saying that we know we do it. So we know somebody is a fraudster, he's a yahoo, but we pretend that he's not because we don't want anybody. So we know he's making plenty money. We know he's yahoo, but we choose not to talk about it.
So for someone who stood on that side for a long time, remember when Princess came on the show, I was like, don't popularize the unpopular. Don't even promote it. Don't even feed it. Yeah. But it was long after we met this lady that we were both listening to, and I was like, maybe we should start to talk about it so people know what to look out for, so people know what to disclose. That's the men, for instance, who don't then need to add some form of narcissism to it for the cover-up, the domestic violence for the cover-up. I handled a case in my office. In fact, that case was handled by a very senior lawyer who is very popular. And when they got every proper thing that should be done procedural-wise, I saw in the processes they brought to my office. And I was shocked that they still got to me. If this person prosecuted this into no avail, what do you think I can do? All the process, I said, you just want media because you think I'm on TV. And she was like, if that can help. She had a son, and her husband, who was gay, she found him with his whatever in the baby's mouth.
No way.
God,
I'm telling you. That can be true.
I'm telling you.
In real life.
I'm telling you. And at the time, all the blogs had already carried the story, and I didn't know this thing, I could meet the person. Christ. So the sad thing is, if we don't talk about the damages possible from this thing, I have been on the side of don't popularize, don't disclose. But right now, I'm on the side of talk so people know how badly damaging this can be. Yeah. This girl was 23, young girl. She didn't need this drama. And she didn't know what to do. And I don't even think a 43-year-old will know what to do if you are not prepared for that life. So when Mariam was talking about what you know, the devil you know is better than the one you don't know kind of example, it makes sense. Because now we say don't popularize, don't feed.
Don't talk.
But the damage is there.
But let's look at it. Let's look at it both sides. If we popularize it,
we're not popularized.
If we talk about it,
we're not trying to popularize.
How will it not be popularized?
No. It's already popularized. Whether you talk or you don't talk, social media is there. We are not the only ones that are talking. Social media is there. A lot of our children even know what it is.
These things, yes.
That's how deep it has gotten into the fabrics of the society. They know. There was a day I was having a conversation with my children, and they were giving me all the names that I've not even heard. Where did you people hear this? So we discuss it. We talk about it in school. Our friends talk about it. People talk. They know already. So educating people to make informed decisions so that they are not taken advantage of is what this conversation is all about. If you are saying, let us close our eyes so that we don't popularize, it's already popular, brother. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing. But I would like to give maybe a few tips on some of the signs that we can be looking out for, right? It's very difficult because even in a heterosexual relationship, that's the man and the woman, we have people who still fall into this sort of traps of deceit, even when the red flags are in front of them. They just ignore and, for whatever reason. So this one too, we'll still have people, even after getting a few tips, that will still fall into it and realize later, because human beings are naturally stubborn. But we would do, we would do what we can do. So when your partner is emotionally detached, there's no form of emotion. Everything is business, transaction-like. You can suspect that. Are you sure? Because when you are in a loving relationship, emotions will flow from time to time. It doesn't mean that it's every day you are doing mushy-mushy, but it will flow. That's one. When your partner is not interested in the opposite sex, cannot even check out a woman. There was a time I went on set, and there was this guy they were talking about. And everybody kept complaining that he doesn't, like, you are a woman, pretty, you are well-dressed, you are ready for action and everything. He doesn't even see you. He looks past, he looks through you, he doesn't see you. And people kept talking about it, and then we started asking questions, what's happening? Only for them to realize that he's more interested in the younger boys around. Because I knew something was off. How you go see fine babe, look, even to say, you're looking hot today now, yeah, let's run our lines, or rest. Nothing like, he looks past, and I was not the only one who noticed it. A lot of other women have noticed it, right? And it checked out to be true. So you have a partner who doesn't appreciate or admire another woman, not once since you've known that person. Even you, Sefi, they admire you. They talk about you, like, see,
so how did he toast you? I mean, if he did not admire you,
let me take this Mr. Tijani's comment, and I think he says, good morning. How are you? Trust you guys are healed and healthy. Honestly, can we answer this question? Are we here to follow our own inordinate interest or the dictates of Allah, subhanallah, the subject of, yes, subhanallah, The subject of gay or lesbianism in both books of God was melted with total destructions of Sodom and Gomorrah. Let humanity speak in one voice to condemn this aberration of creations. This is a threat to God's command. God says, go to the lands and multiply. God, the owner of heaven and earth, in his wisdom, created Adam and Eve. If God wanted to create homosexual, gayism, or lesbian, he would have done Adam and Eve alone.
Or Adam and Adam.
Adam alone. We must be united to condemn this evil. Iblis or Satan is at work to destroy humanity. We must not let Iblis or Satan to win. So this is a perspective the average Nigerian believes, because both our books, our religious perspective, both our books totally abhors this act.
Yeah.
Nobody is saying the act is right. What we are saying is that many people are involved in this illegal or evil act, right? Now, in this their act, they're now deceiving their significant other, either male or female, into marriages, and they're having children, and they're further destroying the fabric of society because they're raising children in this kind of situation, the toxic in marriage, in this kind of situation. So how do we fix it? Do we pretend it's not there and continue to do it, or do we talk about it and let people know, come out and tell me who you are? So if I want to enter this marriage, I know how I'm entering.
The intense and the damage of it is what is forcing us to do what we would not do ordinarily, which is having these conversations. Yeah. So that a young girl that is sitting down and just thinking, all I need is money, will not be thinking, oh, what if it's this now? And a young guy that is thinking and saying, all I need is a good girl, kiniko, that, will be also checking what if she's the other way as well. These conversations, these options, people will now be able to bring it into some of the red flags they would also stick before they pick a person or before they say, no, I can't take a person. For instance, a man who is, we grew up in the MSSN, a man who is interested in me, if he's asking me out, he can't even look at me in the MSS. So you'll be looking down, because if you look at me too much, you have sinned. So you're looking down. I remember my husband meeting me, and he wasn't a MSSN person. And the first thing the guy did was trying to shake my head. Are you sure this one won't marry me? That was my own reaction. But right now, I don't know how to see it. Whether I should be appreciative that he even tried.
Better for you.
Some of these things are now forcing us to, to look at it.
Reevaluate.
Let me take Ade from London. Thanks for calling, Ade. You're live.
Yes, good morning, ladies.
Morning.
I don't want us to put religion into this thing. It has nothing to do with religion at all.
Okay.
Both, either you are a Christian or Muslim, both sides, they do it. I used to live in Kano in late 70s. And the way we identify them, we call them down Daudu. Those who understand Hausa will understand that. And they used to put them in the shop. When you see a man in the shop talking like that, we know this down Daudu, which means he has a man sleeping with him. So it's been existing for years. It doesn't matter. It's not about religion. But it's a bad thing. But we must talk about it. In England here, in the UK, last year there was a strike in Manchester because the government introduced that they were teaching the children from kindergarten about gay. The children and the family were protesting, mainly those protesting, Sikh, Muslim, Christian, all of them were demonstrating. But the government didn't listen. They said they need to know before they get to secondary school that this is gay, so they can choose what they want. So by not talking about it, we're just cheating ourselves. Because it's everywhere on the internet, everywhere. So it's not about religion at all. Let's forget about religion. So it's a bad thing.
Thank you very much, Ade. But so I'll go on a break now. We'll come back, we'll discuss, can we protect ourselves from this? Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing the various sexual orientations and the deception, especially in marriage. And we're talking about how prevalent it is in our society, and we always choose to look the other way. Someone was sending me a message yesterday, Mariam, my 15-year-old son told me it's the way they are wired. It's not their fault. So a child is already seeing this community as, listen, that's who they are, that's how they're wired. Something came to mind when you guys were talking, because a lot of women also are exploring this other lesbianism. Because some are saying, oh, if my husband is cheating on me, so they will say I'm cheating on him, I'll go and I'll find another woman to hide. So in their own mind, they are best friends. So the other person, oh, that's her best friend. Not that she and her best friend, they are swinging, you know, all side on the other side. That is also very, very prevalent in society, where the women are always also helping themselves in this situation. So it's something that we must talk, because people are telling me, Mariam, this is inappropriate. But the more we make it inappropriate, the more it happens behind closed doors. We need to bring it open, because when you notice that your wife has this best friend that suddenly became her best friend in the last few years, and they're always together, they sleep together, go for vacations together, they're always hanging out together, trust me, it might not be what you think it is.
Yeah, so for those that are saying that the conversation in itself is inappropriate, it will popularize what is not there. I want to go back to what BC said about our children knowing these things much more than we think.
Yeah.
So, as with many things, we want to be the people that first introduce them to a conversation so that we can guide them a certain way. So imagine you're refusing to talk about it, you're pretending it does not exist, and they're being educated by people you don't know. Yeah. You don't know what their orientation is, you don't know what their beliefs are, you don't know what their values are, and that's where your children are getting the information concerning this. So if you want to be able to guide your children, then you will want them to have conversations with you about the realities of this world and people. And then you can say to them, but this is how we go about it. But you don't say anything. They go out, they pick different things. And then later in life, you're wondering where they picked it from. They picked it from the people who spoke to them. You refuse to speak to them. So the hypocrisy of Nigerians, this la behavior, it will take us nowhere. Sit down with people that you love and tell them the truth. Deception is not right. I don't believe that it's the same thing as a man being deceptive with a woman, because I know heterosexual relationship is heterosexual relationship. If I know that you are, I don't know how that translates. It's not the same to me. And I would like for my children, you know, the next generation coming forward, to have conversations with me. A young girl, 21, 22, who is looking to get married to a man, may not be, maybe it's naive and not so worldly to know the signs and things to look out for. Imagine if she had aunties she could have this conversation with. So that is why we have this conversation, and we cannot keep being ostriches.
So the producers are saying that the woman-to-woman one is becoming an epidemic because many women are doing that. We need to find a way to stop it, because, I mean, I don't even want to go into that too much, but the truth is that these things are happening. And how do you... People are getting feeling that they are more satisfied that way. So there are a lot of men who are broken, who are abused as children, and they were introduced to this. And unfortunately, they were not able to seek help or find help to be able to heal from maybe being raped by an uncle or being by somebody who just took advantage of them as a child. And they grew up to adults and having to become, now I am full-blown gay. And these are people that actually need help in some ways. Others will say they are born naturally that way. It depends on which side, which argument you want to fall on. But either way, why does this society force them to marry? And if they don't marry, it's a problem. We keep going, he's not married, he's 45 years old, he's not married. He's 50, he didn't marry. Society keeps judging this man.
If you don't marry, it's still not criminal if you don't
marry. But the society judges them.
Because of the need for procreation, it's natural for someone to look at a child and say,
I didn't even know that they could have
born your own. Do you understand? Because if you follow this, how do they call it, option, Abby? Or the wiring, this wiring. If you follow up, have you not get progenitors? Have you not get offsprings? So a mother or a father would worry that their children don't want to do this. It's not a good thing for any parent to be dumped at any parent's door. For a child to say, I think it's even selfish for you to say you're wired like that. But now, only the VAP Act, the Violence Against Persons Act in Nigeria, criminalizes the abuse of boy children, covers rape to same-sex.
Yeah.
Other laws look at it as what they call the carnal knowledge. So it has to be man, woman. We've not expanded it. All these legislations are not expanded enough to cover the various sides. What I would like to see that this same-sex law that we are against, law against same-sex that we have, is not criminalize disclosure, but criminalize the deceit. That the consequence will be higher than even kidnapping.
Yeah, but how would you now criminalize deceit if you are forcing people to be deceptive? Let me tell you why.
Exactly.
So we have, apart from the law that already says if you are a criminal. Do you understand? That's one. So you're telling me I should hide it. You have not provided for me a place where I can come and say, this is who I am.
This is who I am.
I'm in a society that says if I even dare talk about it, sitting down to even talk about it is wrong. So you are creating, what I want us to do is, let's understand that some of the laws that we have put in place is also the reason
why the deception.
Because of deception. So how do we handle that?
Before you answer that, let me take this call. Abdul Rafiu, thanks for calling. You're live.
Hello?
You're live. Go ahead, please. Morning.
You see this topic here, very, very important. But what is good then?
Abdul Rafiu, I can't hear you.
Hello?
It's breaking. Sorry, go ahead, Nima. You're going to ask her.
Yes. What I would like the law, when I say expanded to cover, is allow a man, say to a woman he wants to marry, I am wired this way.
Yes.
Are you ready for this journey? Even having the document. But, you know, just as confidential ethics apply to certain professions and everything, it will apply to the woman being the one to disclose. You know, so she comes in and there's no deception. But if a woman married to you did not know this and has to suffer the consequence of living with it for 10 whatever years, if she comes in with evidence, it should be criminalized. That way we'll deter the deception. But the disclosure will be allowed. The disclosure still must be guided and, you know, regulated enough.
So the disclosure will no longer be criminal?
Yes. So a person who is wired like this can be known for his thing, but until he is caught in the act of having two people having sex or getting married, there's no criminalization, which is what we are living with today. People are wired this way. I don't want to even call them what they are, gay or whatever, homosexuals. And they're living with us. But because nobody is walking around catching them with any man, they are living free.
I have a message.
Bring your disclosure out and let it not be criminal.
I have a message from somebody. Hello, Mariam. I told my wife I was gay 2 weeks to our wedding, and she asked us to go ahead with the wedding. Now she's complaining because I'm not in the house with her. Am I at fault? This is a Nigerian.
2 weeks too short.
How long?
But he told her before the marriage.
How long did they date?
Do you know how many people with
married? He told her before. Yeah, so maybe society. I'm not trying to defend this person.
This is still a part of deception.
Yes, I
so
want
you lure people on to a point of no return. And you understand. Not everybody.
She has not said I do.
Hold on. Not everybody has the will.
Venue.
What was she going to tell people that
not
is
everybody has the will to take a walk at that point.
Yes.
Not everybody. She's emotionally invested, and they were heading somewhere.
Yes.
Only for you close to the bridge, you now say, I am like this. Oh yeah, will you go back or will you not go back? It's difficult.
Yes,
it's just deception. A few people that can look and say, I won't be able to do this. It's still deception.
Yeah.
So at the point of your relationship where you're getting to know each other, when you're talking, put it on the table. Joke with it.
From Instagram.
Your first dinners, your second dinners, talk about it. Then the person will know, should I continue going to see this person?
Please, the person is from Instagram. I do not think say that.
No.
From Instagram.
But the truth is, see, I know that it will be tough to open up immediately with someone that you're just meeting, so it will take a while. But if you're getting to the point where you're going to ask someone to marry you, you have to open up then.
Oh, Mariam.
Wait. There are many people who have gone ahead because the way he's put it, he's trying to absolve himself from any deception. He has been deceptive up to that point.
2 weeks.
You have paid for venue at 2 weeks. You sent out cards at 2 weeks. You've done introduction at 2 weeks. You have done many things by 2 weeks to your wedding.
Yes,
do you understand? So you already created deception, and here she's doing it to cover face. Yes. And then you say that you already told her.
Mariam, do you know? Okay, let me place the what's that thing the RDG told us? Agent provocateur.
Okay.
A lot of women are dating somebody, right? And they'll be pressurizing them to get married. And listen, we've been dating for 4 years. For whatever reason, the man has not settled down. And he's traveling around the world. He's finding every reason to find a way not to get married to you. But you then call family meeting, we've been married for 6 years now, we've been going dating for 6 years now. I want him to make a woman out of it, as they say. Then finally, he has agreed, okay, share this marriage, no problem, we'll marry, because in his heart, he knows he's gay, he can't come out to tell the world that I'm gay.
But I have to. That I'm gay.
No, so he goes ahead with all plans because she won't see that, because she's a good person.
Yeah.
He loves her because she's a good person. He cares for her, that's what she wants. He cares for her, he wants to marry, that's what she wants, that's what her family wants. So he's trying to be responsible.
Yeah.
But as he's going forward, he said, okay, is this the right thing? 2 weeks before, he now says, you know what, guys, I have to tell you the truth. This is who I am. That's why I don't want to get married to you. Unfortunately, in that moment, she's saying, we have to go ahead.
Yes. So
at the point of pressure.
I've already said, he has deceived her. But also now you have heard it. So we have dealt with him for the woman.
Yes.
Auntie, you have to have boundaries now. You have to have standards. There are some things you cannot take.
So
God forbid.
Listen,
let's say 2 weeks to your wedding, let's say you had a child and you found that the man was defiling your child. Would you say because it's 2 weeks to the wedding, we're going ahead? You won't now. So choose. I know, but I'm saying, so in that case too, you are part of it.
Yeah.
You cannot turn around and say, I was deceived. Yes, we understand to the point you were deceived, but after then, what choices did you make? So in this case,
both of them are guilty. Yeah.
Let's also talk about denial. A lot of women see these things, but they live in denial. They want to wish it away. When we want to pretend this conversation away, you don't want to have the conversation. If I don't talk about it, it's not there, and you're deceiving yourself. They see the signs. You're married to somebody who barely can stand to touch you. You have to force and complain. I've handled some relationship issues where they're like, this person does not touch me. We can go for months. He's okay. He's not bothered, And that's not how it was. And that's not what I wish for myself. And you continue in that. You are seeing those signs, but you're wishing it away. You're praying it away. You're assuming that, don't worry, it will be well at some point, And then this happens. And you cast your mind back. Because when you had, also there was one issue we handled. It was I and my husband that handled the issue. It was a far, friend, long distance friend that it happened to. So when we sat down, we're asking, which signs, because it was so scary. They were just newly wedded, and she came into the house that particular day and found him and a guy in their matrimonial bed. And she said her head sparked. First thing, she just carried her bag and ran out, And when we now started asking questions, what signs did you see? How? Because I don't know how you would have been in this for this long and you did not suspect anything. She said she was suspecting, She was suspecting by how the guy was very affectionate to guys around. We hold a guy, guys don't like, in fact, the guy mentioned straight guy for massage. And, it's the guys that massage there. And my husband, if any guy comes here, I will blow. Guys don't like it, But this one would hug, would touch, and she just felt, maybe he's just being a cool person.
A nice guy.
A nice person. What other signs did you see? She would have to be chasing him to touch her.
I don't understand.
The relationship was so long, the touching is no more than 3 times. So how did you not suspect that if they are not touching you, they are likely touching somebody else or they are sick? Those are some of the signs that we see and we deny away. We use denial to cover it. So we also need to be truthful to ourselves, and that brings back that question we asked. Are women ready
to hear the truth?
Exactly. God bless you. That is the cocoa of the matter, Nima. We don't want to hear. We pretend because there's so much pressure on us to get married, have children, be Mrs. XYZ. So we don't want to see the truth. We pretend it's not there, but it's right there in front of us.
So we'll come to that. I also want to address the trend of messages on this topic.
Please.
Okay. So it seems like they think we've genderized the topic. Okay. Immaculate Boy says the root cause is let government legalize same-sex marriage and we won't see people lead an hypocritical life. Please, you ladies should learn to balance issues in 2024. There are women who are lesbians but also married. Also, Rabia says, okay, that one, she's greeting us Happy New Year. And he says, you were straight when I born you, quoting me, and said this refusal is to even try to understand things is a major problem. It's a mixture of many factors: religion, ignorance, miseducation, and pretension. And pretense. And he also says, quoting BC now, my worry is about the children. The idea that you can raise a child to be gay. Poor coming from most well-read, open-minded, and spiritually minded member of the show. And then Immaculate Boy comes again and says, a woman's heart is like a bottle. He said, are the ladies of your view asking men to be open? A woman's heart is like the bottomless pit filled with secrets. And then he quoted the...
Okay, let me take this call.
Says, DNA, is that a secret too? Again, let's not genderize society. Is thinking we're just saying only gay men exist.
No, of course.
And I've talked about lesbianism already. I discussed lesbianism.
Yes, now. We've
let me take Nuandu from Edo. Thanks for calling. Nuandu from Edo. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Hello? Mariam?
Yes, sir.
Let me make contribution to this message.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
You see what? Yes. What you are discussing is very important. Any man, any gay that is doing all that should be killed.
Okay. So, you know, it happened, there was a gospel artist.
Yes.
There was a gospel artist this thing happened to. If you remember, I can't remember her name now. She married somebody, I can't remember her name. She used to go to House on the Rock, one of those churches, one of the big churches. She married somebody and then found that he was gay. And it was public then, it was in the newspapers then. We discussed it on Yovi many years ago. And I'm just trying to remember what the scenario would happen. But this thing had been happening for years. Just that we don't talk about it often. So it happened then, it wasn't properly addressed, and now more people are going through the same thing.
That we are against morally in Nigeria that are legally criminal, that have been criminalized, tend to thrive more here. We don't see consequence. So she married somebody who turned out to be gay. He did not disclose to her he was gay. Maybe she caught him. But there was nothing that happened. She will not stand in witness against him. He would not, you know, nothing will really happen. Everybody will just waka their waka. And so he can really remarry somebody to cover face if he's a politician for some reason or has the need for cover face. And he will live his life. And then he would have been gisting on the blogs or then the celebrity papers and all of that. And then everybody will just move on. Yeah. You know, really, how many prosecutions do we get? Except for Delta said that went to go and do a film the other day. With no prosecution.
That man should have been prosecuted. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I just also wanted to respond to Immaculate Border saying this, we're making it a gender issue. So sometimes some conversations come as a result of a story that has been shared with us. So just to remind Immaculate Border where we're coming from, somebody had put up a story where she knows of a man who is publicly affectionate with his wife on social media, and she saw him being a homosexual with people, you know, in her circle. Then we have another person confirming that. So if the conversation started on that ground, it's not that we have picked just to make it about men. So sometimes it may come from the other side, but we have, during the course of the conversation, mentioned that it has happened both ways too. And we have had personal conversations with women who have been in situations like this, and that's what we have referred to. And when we get stories of women in women's situations, we'll talk about that as well.
Also, so, while we are talking about it, because we try to talk about both sides, but the emphasis will be on the side who has to carry the consequence of having children, and you know, of having to live with the consequence more. Yeah. If a man was gay and the woman just finds out, it doesn't stop him from being gay. Nothing has happened, but the woman will be... But if a woman was a lesbian, she can't bring lesbianic children to the man.
What does that even mean?
I'm just saying that the consequence is so grievous and it damages women more in that kind of light.
Well, gay men want kids too. So, the gay men want children.
So please,
the gay man should give
that
kids
we will not be misinterpreted on this conversation, because from the messages that you read now, it seemed like they are misinterpreting a lot of things we're saying. We are not out in explaining that some of these people also want to have children. It's not encouraging, it's just telling you how they feel. And if this is also allowed in a society like this, they will also want to have children. And sometimes one of the reasons that they go for the female counterpart instead of just staying by themselves or following just their same sex is because they want children. Some of them actually do want children. And so in spotlighting what they are doing, we also have to consider those children that are raised in such an environment. We have an issue where, you know, sometimes we think we're smarter than these kids. These children understand when you're just cohabiting. I'm talking about the normal relationship. They know that daddy does not sleep in this room. They know, trust me. They know that daddy and mommy, they are not intimate. They know, they see all of those things. And when they get to a certain age, they begin to understand the dynamics of the parents' relationship, what we're trying to protect them from. And if also we start, talking about this and realizing that these people, a son can walk into the house one day and find the father doing something something to another male, and then it sticks in the brain. We're not considering the children in this. So my explaining that does not mean I am sanctioning or I am saying that they should start doing it or everybody should not come out of the closet and then Nigeria will be smiling at them. That's not what we're saying on the table. We're just saying if you have to disclose to your partner so that they will decide whether they are going in or they are not. Don't deceive innocent people's children. That's what we're saying.
And some women also who
and also to you is that you are limiting a gay's potential to being a good parent. By saying concerned about the children. That's what I think he's saying. That of your exposure, you should be, even though a person is gay, the person can still raise children. That's what I don't know that one. His message is. So, because this is saying how worrying is about the children.
Yes, I'm worried about the children.
Does it mean that they are bad parents?
I did not say that, but I'm just worried.
So I also, in addition to that deception, I'm also trying to want us to address the fact that lots of women don't even want to know the truth. They might have suspected. Yeah. They might see the signs, but they choose to pray it away, look the other way, because they also want, society has pressured them to the point that they have to settle down.
Yeah, marriage is the ultimate
for them. So also, we must also support women to be open, to allow them to live their lives with or without marriages, to be respected with or without marriages, to be honored with or without marriages. Society must begin to do that. Because if we don't, these women will see this, they realize that, hey, let me just, okay, he's doing this, let me just, at least he's my husband. At least let me just enter the marriage.
Men are respected with or without marriage. Nobody says, you're a successful man, but you are not married. Nobody says that. But for a woman, she's successful, but there's no, she's not married. So we need to start having this conversation. So when you are a full human being, you're here to follow your destiny and your path. With or without marriage, you will be celebrated and respected for your job. And
let's take some positive.
We lift the pressure off them.
Yes, staying in this kind of marriage, because that's as I said, interestingly, because we've done this show 10 years plus now, and trust me, we've seen quite a bit. And there's been lots of stories. We had people come on our table, tell us privately how they found out their husbands are gay.
People don't know what we hear.
Yeah, it's really painful. And people people that are like us, people like, so you'll be shocked the kind of people that are expressing it. Any comments for us?
Yeah, Lady Tem says, unfortunately, it's become a societal menace, so it should definitely be up for discussion in all its ramifications to help society understand perfectly what we are facing.
Let me take Kemi from Ikotun. Thanks for calling, Kemi.
Good morning, Mariam.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, my name is Kemi. I'm calling from Ikotun, first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Actually, I want to contribute to this matter. I would like to give an example of when I traveled to the U.S. I was working on Amazon. One of my colleagues was from a home like that, So I was trying to tell him that, look, why do you smoke? He said, because he just like to smoke. I said, okay, I want you to stop smoking. Do you go to church? He said he hates church. I said, why? He said, because his father is a gay. The mother left him for years. He's a white guy. So I said, so what happened? He said he went to the father's house to spend the weekend. On getting there, he met his father's friend that was also a gay, and his son that was a gay. And wanted to force him to sleep with the son of the father, gay. And he said, no, he can't do that. They have to run away. And they chased him, called the police on him, and he ran to the church, thinking that the church would help him from them. But unfortunately, the church brought him out and gave him back to the authorities. And since then, they said the church is not a brain is not working well, and he's an only child. So it has a lot of effect on his life up till now as I'm talking to you. Taylor is behaving like a mental child because of what happened to him, what he has gone through. He can't even visit his father. He can't go there. He can't do anything. So this thing is really bad for the children. It affects them a lot once they get to know about it. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much, Kemi, for sharing. Any more comments on social media? Let's take it.
I wanted to take Gege Moses. Gege Moses says, many courts without intimacy due to religious beliefs. What now happens when they finally get married and discover either of them is in the same sex.
Hey, Nima, that is an interesting angle. I don't know if you guys heard that.
So let me take this one before we dissect that. So Corey says, if a woman can turn deaf and dumb to her husband defiling her female child, then what are we talking about?
Let me talk about this religious angle, because this is an interesting angle. We are all encouraged not to have intercourse before marriage. You have to intimacy, you have to be intimate with your spouse. You're not supposed to go in there as a virgin. Even if you're not a virgin, at least hold yourself till you enter the marriage. Now, that's what we were raised, and that's what we try to tell our children today. But now, we've heard many stories where after you now enter the marriage, you now realize that your spouse, the reason why he's been so celibate
Was
many
he
years,
got
because
to follow you without touching?
yes, he was happy. God bless you. He was happy to be a very perfect Christian boy because he was on the other side. And now he entered the marriage and he now found out that he can't do anything. So these things happen. So the question this scholar is asking that, do we therefore encourage intending couples to check out to explore the other room before entering marriage, to be sure that a guy is not gay and madam is not lesbian?
There's a part of Islam that people don't know, that you're allowed the first glance. But if the glance not there at all,
What does glance mean?
In Islam and in the Arab
Like
world,
this, your
people
Quran
think
is very
it's different,
interesting.
I'm telling you. So a man who wants to marry a woman must show desire.
Okay.
So he's allowed that first, she said to him, and then he looks down.
That's normal now.
That gaze is not supposed to overdo. Yes, and but he's allowed to view. But if you are gay, you really don't care if she sets.
Yeah.
You don't care. You don't raise eye. So if a gay now, all the Muslims, he doesn't glance. Please.
But another thing is if you are bi, because some of them can do both.
Hey.
No, but it's true now. That's why a lot of people can't tell.
When they finish work.
Obiajulu.
That's why a lot of people cannot tell, because not all of them are just
swing both
one way.
ways.
They swing both.
Yeah.
So they can still give you that glance and give Brother John that glance.
Hey.
When I share the glance.
Would even say that they
Glance
have
is
become, they've
glance is
become
my
bi
sister.
because they've tried to hide who they originally are, and so they've added that extra thing so that they can get away with it. Even in that bisexual relationship, they are really just gay people hiding.
Okay, I have a call from Redemption Camp. Agbomen, thanks for calling. You're live.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, sir.
God bless you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Sorry, we didn't hear you.
Not satire us.
Yes. What you guys or what you ladies are discussing there is very, very important. Look, as every day is new, so is everything we discuss every day is new. There are people that your discussion is saving now. Then you may believe that it's something that we already know. We don't know anything. We know every day as we learn them. This discussion you ladies are making here is very important and is supposed to be discussed like you are discussing it. If we are discussing politicians stealing money, we should discuss when things are wrong in our society. Our children are learning these things. Most families are hiding the truth from their children. And when they see them making blunders or mistakes, they call back themselves and say, had I known, I would have discussed with them.
Yeah, true.
So you ladies should continue hammering. Gay marriage is bad. How do they even do it? How can a man enter a fellow man? It's bad. Let's say it the way it is. Who want to learn, let that person learn. God bless you.
So I saw this comment. Lizzie says, apart from marital deception, there's the issue of their growth in secret. Imagine leaving children with a neighbor or relative thinking they are normal. What we do not address grows out of control suddenly. So every family has their tradition, who you are and what you want to. And that's why when you're, or who you want to become or be. And that's why when you're building a tribe, you're building a community, you want like-minded people. You want to have your neighbors to think the same way, have the same values, understand life the same way. So it's safer for you to leave your children because they will not be saying something that is strange to your children. And if we do not discuss this, we cannot separate the people whose ideologies are different from our own. And because of the way the world is, I can carry my children now to Mariam's place for the weekend because I have to travel and all of that. I really do not understand if her ideologies are the same with me. So we must have this conversation, and we must encourage people to, in their safe places, come out. So we know, if I have a neighbor now who I know that is, yes, that way inclined, I already have my expectations. If I'm someone who leaves my house open all the time, if I'm not inclined in that area, I will close my doors a bit to protect myself and protect my children till they get to the age where they can make decisions for themselves. So we cannot pretend like it's not happening. Some of us is too close to home, as a matter of fact, and everybody's looking away. And tomorrow we sit down and we're saying, village people have chased your children, village people have chased you because of some things that you were not able to, discuss and expose them to for protection. We have children who are in the boarding house. I've sat them down and I've said, thank God you people know already. This. Brother, where's your mind? Okay, you like girls. You uncle. So when somebody comes to the bathroom when you're bathing in the morning and tries to, you know what should come next, Abi? And all of that. You can't say.
Yeah.
The children may also pretend, till they get to an age where they thought you have done your
my question now, okay, exactly. I like that how you ended it, that you don't make sure you do your best.
What you can do as a parent.
Because there are marriages where the husband is such a faithful man, he's such a good man, he provides for the family, everything he does is for the house, but he's gay. And the reason why he seems, you don't see him with any girls, when he goes to church, he looks straight. When he goes to parties, he doesn't look, it's only you he's looking at as a wife. But forgetting that all the buddies he has, all his eyes, always with the guys, he stays there at 11 p.m. at night, he has a community that he's a member of, he's part of. So you are there thinking you have a faithful man who is always with you. Anytime you call him, he's with his boys. You think he's faithful, but he's not.
Don't be too much with your boys.
So again, so how many signs can you really monitor? Because you never really know.
You better monitor signs, because just this thing they're saying, I know women of my faith that, when we are with women like ourselves, if I were to make my hair in a place, it would be all women setting. If we were to have sisters, it would be all women setting. We can really...
That's Muslim now.
But if you are the wiring, because this is that we're calling wiring now, I'll be exposing, and you will not be, you will not be wired the other way around. I beg you.
Let me take Janet. Good morning, Janet, you're live. We have to wrap this up. Good morning, Janet. You're live.
Hello, good morning.
Go ahead, please.
Happy New Year to you all.
Happy New Year to you, Janet.
I've been enjoying your program for ages. I've been trying to get to you. But
Thank you.
This morning, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I really want to contribute on this issue of getting married when church says don't sleep with each other before marriage.
Don't test.
Yes. My elder sister had an issue. She got married to this pastor. Anytime she goes to the house, the man will not allow any contact or whatever, not knowing that he had issues. So we need to really talk to our churches. If there's any step you need to do before you go into marriage to be sure that the man can perform. She had the issue, and eventually the pastor died. She became a widow without any child. So many issues came up. So who will you trust again if you cannot trust your church? So please, I don't know how we can handle this issue. This person is my direct sister. See, today her life is not balanced. She went through a lot of trauma. She couldn't come out of it. In fact, the pastor introduced her to another pastor to sleep with her to be pregnant. So many dirty things happen. So please, we need to, since you have access to the public, you have to talk to the public.
Thank you, Janet. With something with that, so her sister's husband, who can't do anything, is now asking her to be with another pastor to impregnate her so she can have children. I mean, it's quite messy, but it's a conversation for another day. But it goes back to the deception.
Yeah.
So the deceit on all levels. So it can be deception within the gay community, deception even in the heterosexual relationships.
Something you could help yourself about. Maybe you were abused as a child, something that made that your disposition in your sexual disposition. But your decision to hide and destroy a person's life is like you have HIV and go about having unprotected sex with other girls, or even setting out to rape girls to completely destroy their lives is something that should be criminal.
Some even think that maybe marriage will help them begin to love. Because you feel that you're gay, yes, and you feel that, okay, you might be swinging, that there's some girls that you like. So you feel, let me just get married and do it both ways. And then you now find out that after marriage, you realize that you'd rather be with the other sex. So sometimes it's not intentional to hurt somebody.
Okay, whether intentional or not, my advice would be just be upfront about it. It's that important. You cannot throw a dice on someone else's life. Don't do that.
Mani says, who are you? Are you gay? Why should a gay man even think of marrying a woman? A gay is someone who has decided not to have a dealing with a woman. So for me, if you are gay, don't even think of getting married, because even if a woman married a gay on her knowledge, at some point she'll be fed up.
It's survival. We are all survivors. Everybody wants to survive in this world. You have to adapt in this world where
I don't think they marry like that abroad, where they are open enough to.
Even at them, Pope don't say make them bless them.
No, the opposite.
They fight so they get religious.
There's no need there to marry the opposite to cover up, because now you can
off your mic.
Now you can hold your brother and Adam and Steve.
We have to wrap up. I think
Adam and Steve.
Honestly, I always like to see people as let's judge people for who they are and not what they do.
Sorry, what do we advise our children? We have girls. Should they do testing before marriage or not?
That's a different conversation for a different day.
No, don't test.
But I think to summarize all this,
homosexualism is a sin. It is immorally wrong. It is immoral. It is wrong. It is also illegal to do. That's the law right now. That's the position.
And concerning the topic of today, it's important that we don't deceive each other. What we're asking, if you know that you're gay, please disclose, full disclosure to your spouse. Or if you're a lesbian, full disclosure to your spouse, so that they know before you get into that union called marriage. Because when you do get into that marriage, people expect that you uphold the contract that you've signed, and to be truthful to each other. So it's unfair. I think that's the word that Mariam used earlier. It's very unfair to lead a woman or a man on when you know that you're not going to be emotionally and physically connected with that person in marriage. It's quite unfair. And I think deception, as Nima said, should be illegal, and that's what you should be going to jail for, not necessarily your choice of practice. That's all we can take on this week. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday.
Such a long week.
Bye for now.
January is
very long week.